So, Rita, because I know that having left Southwest Airlines 6 years ago and moved into running your own consulting business, you've peeped behind the curtain of various organizations and looked at, what's working, what's not working, what is helping them develop people-centered cultures, what gets in the way of that. What do you see as, some of the barriers to great work flourishing within organizations?
I think one of the barriers is expectations or lack of understanding of expectations. And I look at this in two ways. First of all, organizations say that they want people who are innovative and creative and can come in with new ideas and
Right.
come up with new solutions. But the structures and the infrastructure and the way that the organizations are governed don't support that. So there are conflicting messages there. We want this, but here's the box that we're going to keep you in.
Right.
So I think that's one thing that hinders organizations. And the other is, and this is really sad, this emotionally saddens me that I see so many people in organizations that have truly lost their passion,
Right.
if they ever had it. And it's as if we're walking robots,
Mm-hmm.
and we just go through the daily grind and the daily process of doing the activities of the job without really thinking about, why am I excited? I was in a session yesterday with two ladies that it was so inspiring to me because rarely do I see this, unfortunately, and they were so very excited about what they were doing. It was as if a little kid on Christmas morning, that I can't
Right.
wait to unwrap the present, and they were just immersed and excited about it. And it's not that everything is perfect and everything goes well every single day, but when you have that type of passion about what you do,
Yeah.
and I deal with lots of professionals in the training industry and in HR, and we are the people that should be the most excited about what we do because we're transferring that spirit and that excitement to others. And if you wake up in the morning and you dread going in and you have nothing to look forward to and it's just more of the same, as I refer to stagnant quo.
Mm-hmm. That's great. Stagnant quo. I haven't heard that before, but that's lovely.
Well,
Yeah.
if you think about if it's status in today's environment, as quickly as things are changing, it's
Right.
stagnant. You're
Mm-hmm.
already, because the world is evolving around you.
Right.
And if you're still doing things the way you did them yesterday, it's probably outdated. So,
Rita, I on that point, sometimes I use the metaphor. Because I talk about good work, great work, and good work is often that sort of daily, repetitive, familiar, comfortable work, which is important to an organization. It's sort of where the profit often comes from in the short term. But you're looking to strike that right balance between great work and good work. And to your point, I often talk about good work. It's like, satellites that circle the Earth. They do a fine job, but they are all on deteriorating cycles. So basically, eventually they run out of steam, they run out of puff, and they crash. And it's the same with the good work. It's the same with the stagnant quo. It is of declining value. And unless you're constantly looking to go, how do we refresh this? How do we challenge it? How do we shift it? Eventually it runs out of puff.
Absolutely, absolutely. Another thing that I think would encourage more great work or sustaining that energy is to, for lack of a better term, celebrate. I also see organizations, because everybody's so busy and there's so many things that are competing for our attention,
Right.
that they go from project to project, from task to task, activity to activity, with no break in between to stop, acknowledge what we learned, and to celebrate.
Right.
Even if it's just for a moment, it's like, completion, we did it, it happened. Let's celebrate, let's acknowledge, let's recognize that, and then go on to the next thing. It's like a merry-go-round that never stops, and eventually you just have to get off and take a breath.
Right.
And because otherwise what happens is you become so insular and you're in this bubble that you really can't see outside of it, and that becomes your world. And people who've lost their curiosity, people who have they don't stretch beyond what's in front of them, they really can't do great work, because it's not you copy. Benchmarking is about looking at how others are doing it and learning from that, but not necessarily copying and duplicating it, but using it as a stimulus.
Right.
And that's another thing that I think is lacking, is just stimulus for sparking the freshness in ideas and innovation in the organization.
Hey, it's MBS here. If you've got a question you'd like me to try and answer for you, 2 ways to send it. Either drop it into the comments below or email me directly at teammbs@mbs.works.